hear a lot about hallucinations. What are they? Why do they happen? And how can they put business users of a tool like ChatGPT at risk?
So hallucinations are outputs from the model that, they're based on what the training data was, which is basically sequences of words one after the other, right? And then what it's outputting is the most likely word after that sequence. What that means is that it might sound very convincing, but it might be making things up like sources or information about anything, because it is not. Its goal is to find the most likely next word. It is not necessarily to find the most likely next word within the context of reality. So an example of this.
That's a little discomforting. Just so you know, I mean, to a researcher that might sound okay, cool, but like somebody like me, that's a little scary.
Yeah, fair enough. So, so an example of that would be, for instance, if you had, there's this one professor, for example, who was talking, Sweeney, Dr. Sweeney, who's a really interesting person. They are, she's the person who called out or figured out that if you get one of the healthcare data sets that was made publicly available, you could, with a zip code and a little bit and age, I believe, you could figure out who the governor of Massachusetts was in this particular data set. And that led to a whole kerfuffle about maybe we should be more careful with healthcare data and actually have a process when it comes to anonymizing data. But anyway, she had mentioned in a talk recently that some of her students had gotten to ChatGPT to create a research paper that she wrote with a bunch of studies that looked really realistic, but that she never conducted, and it was in the format that she would write it, and it sounded like her. But yeah, none of this was real. And in another instance, there was also a lawyer recently that had brought arguments to a court of law and cited cases that never existed, and that lawyer got into deep trouble.
That's staggering. Yeah. So it because of the way the mathematics works, it knew that for this type of a case, that this type of case law might be relevant, and it created case law relevant to a case that was not actual case law. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.